shared Shoply.
Okay. So they automatically assign people to me, even though I don't recruit anybody.
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing you say? Because
Yes.
I mean, I have the opportunity, but what the other thing too is I was looking online, and I'm not trying to be negative, but you have to always know if you're going to sell something to be prepared to answer the negative. The
Yeah.
positive is easy peasy. Okay. So
Agreed.
here is my next question I was asked. Okay. Well, first I wanted to see if it had a search engine. I asked Rhonda, and she let me know that, oh, yeah, they just got that, which is good. So, like, if I type in makeup, then all the vendors come out with makeup because I don't know what vendor does makeup or what vendor does a whole, a steam cleaner. Then you go into that. Now, my next question is so she said, yeah, and I saw that it was working. Okay. The other thing is this compatible to Amazon, the prices? That was one of my girlfriends asked me. She said if I go out to Shoply and I see it's 10.99 and I go to Amazon and it's 7.99, sorry, Shoply, bye. So when these vendors get on, what is our guarantee that they are going to stay with the price range to keep people going back? That's just a question that was asked. I didn't know
I
how to
would
answer that.
honestly suspect, now I don't know this, but I would
Uh-huh.
suspect that their pricing will be cheaper over
What I
time.
was thinking. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and if not, it'll be comparable. And if I remember correctly, from the last Zoom or one of the last Zooms that we watched, to become a vendor on Shoply, you have to sign up for the Influencer Pro. So my whole thought was we go to vendors, whether it's like a boutique or Cincy or whoever it is, you go to them and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
like we want to get your products on here. The cost is $800, $850 to sign up, and then it's $40 a month. No matter what, if they're selling products online somewhere, they're going to have to pay to do that. But that 850 one time and then $40 a month, then you have them underneath you, but
Right.
signed up as a vendor. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Because I'm not making a ton of headway on getting anybody to sign up. You're right. They are
Right.
looking on Reddit. Reddit was the first place we went. And of course, it's MLM, it's a scheme, blah, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. But then whenever we read into it, I was like, okay, you know what? This makes sense. Got on a couple of Zooms, made a lot more sense. And then as you know, it's just now being built. So
Right.
as time goes on, it's going to get better and they're going to work out the kinks. It's just getting through that like first phase that we're in right now.
Right.
I also
I
think that
agree.
I do agree. And I think that when you're looking at the mess that Shoply is kind of in right now, because
Uh-huh.
it is messy, it's not worked out. It's still, the website looks like crap. It's not great.
Right.
It doesn't look good. You have to remember that Amazon started somewhere too, and Amazon is currently, you know, being sued by hundreds of thousands of people because they've overcharged people for Prime. They're not delivering in 24 hours. They're not delivering in 2 days. Their employees are suing them. Manufacturers are suing them. So just because we don't see it on Reddit and we're not Googling it doesn't mean that it's not also happening in every other company. So that it would also be my answer when talking to people. And
Uh-huh.
I know you don't want to sound defensive. I understand
No.
that.
You want
Either.
to be positive.
Yeah, like
Anything that's negative, you want to be able to come back with a positive, or
for
you're
sure.
deadhead.
But
If you
I
talk to
also
them
have
one
to
time,
like
yeah, they won't come back unless
But
you
well, I
really,
also have to just set a healthy boundary. If I'm having a conversation with somebody and they seem to turn really negative, I just turn it off. It's
yeah,
not people that I want to work with anyways.
right,
So if I'm feeling like I'm having to convince somebody to be a part of this or listen to me or they've Googled it and they've seen it's bad and they don't have any kind of open mind or understanding of like what a first phase looks like in any business, not in MLM, not in digital marketing, not in networking, but any business at all, any business model, our hands-on tire shop every single day is an ass whooping trying to get employees to do their jobs. Like when you
hmm
open a business, there are bumps in the road.
Mm-hmm.
You have permits and you have banking and you have credit cards and you have computer problems and you have all these problems. So if I approach somebody with this business opportunity, because that's what I'm presenting it to them as, and they immediately have like a negative energy, well, like
you don't want it.
I don't want to be a part of it. I'm
Well,
just like,
see,
hey, you know
my
what?
thought, my thought too is to. I mean, I don't want to wait, but I do. I've got about two or three friends that if I get them interested in this, take it somewhere for me, and I don't want to be premature. And
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I really kind of want, like I look out there at Shoply every day to see, and it looks a little better. I'm like, okay, now it's got a search engine. Okay, you know. I kind of I'm waiting until if they roll it out, and that's just my personal
I
thought. Is
think that's
come
a great
April,
place
then
to
I'll start.
stay.
Yeah, I'll start really
I
promoting
honestly
it.
think that's a great place to stay for
Uh
people
huh.
that are out like hitting the pavement pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Great place to stay until there's actually something to share with people. Now, Rhonda and Tony are going to tell you, like there's a million products on there and we love them. And that's a matter of opinion. Like I
Yeah.
prefer Diet Coke over Coca-Cola. That doesn't mean that either one of us is wrong. That's a preference.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So when hearing that, I'm not presenting Shoply to people for a customer base right now. I'm like specifically only talking about the business side. I'm reaching out to people who what like I asked a second ago in the live, what made you pull the plug and pay the $850? Now, Cherie's answer is going to be just because I honestly just told her, I'm like, hey, just trust me, just one time. I haven't asked
Because
you
she
for
grabbed my
anything
doggone
continuing.
credit card and put it on there. No, I'm only kidding. And I said I trusted her because I trust her and Caleb. That's why I'm in on it. And
So
I
when you're
do. I really
talking
do.
to someone else, understand that that is the same way that you need to speak to them.
Uh huh.
You trusted me because you know that I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to take your money. Your $800 isn't going to make me a millionaire. Like that's not the thing. So when you're
Okay.
approaching somebody and you have an idea about, you want them to be a part of Shoply, think about the reason why you did it. Amber, think about the reason why you did it. You're like, hey, if there's a chance that I don't have to work 7 days a week, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of saying like, well, it's for influencers and they have a lot of products to sell. Like that scares people. People don't want to be on the internet. People just want to make money. They want to go to work, they want to come home, they want to eat dinner, they want to do what the fuck they're doing. They do not want to just continue to have to put any more extra effort into stuff. So that's not the way that I would present this. You don't need a following. You don't have to be buying all these products. Honestly, it's okay if you just want to invest the $800 and sit back and wait until April when it launches and see if it does anything.
Yeah. And then start promoting.
Yeah, and
You're
then
signing
promote
people
if
up
if
and
that's
things
what
like
you
that.
decide to do, but
Uh huh.
but there's nowhere in the rule book that says if you join Shoply, you have to get on Facebook Live. So I want people to kind of take that out of their minds. Do I want people to be comfortable doing it? Yeah, but I mean, we're already on our phones all day long anyways. Everybody, young,
Yeah.
old, black, white. I mean, we're all already on our phones 24/7. Some of these girls are doing, network digital marketing on TikTok, and they're making 20, $30,000 a month by just posting just stupid videos of their kids and of their dogs and of their house, and they're not selling anything. So for me, that's what Shoply was. Like, I do not want to be attached to a product.
Right.
Here's two other points too, I think. So with all of the negative reviews online, you have to look at it from the side of these people aren't even in Shoply and they're giving a negative review. They have
Uh-huh.
they haven't looked into all of it. They don't have all of the information that we do and the training and I mean really anything. And so they're just sitting there talking shit, looking at, oh, well, look, it's a pyramid scheme and that's it. They don't know the whole part of it. And then the second point is it doesn't matter if it's the best restaurant, if it's the best roofing company, if it's the best whatever, they're gonna have negative reviews because not
Absolutely.
You
everybody
can
is
go to
going to be
Chicken every
happy.
time and get great food. You
Yeah,
don't go to McDonald's and get great food every time. Fuck off. It's not, that's not enough.
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
I think you just have to keep that in mind when you're discussing this with people. Like,
Mm.
hey, not everybody likes peaches. Somebody somewhere is bitching. I mean, Caleb and I, for every one good review we get on Google, we get 3 bad ones. And we just
right.
had to take that with like a grain of salt. Like, that's just how it is.
Uh-huh.
Some people are just so skeptical
Just like
that they can't wrap their brains around making money from their phone. And I don't know if it's out of fear or if it's out of just negative mindset that they just think it's flat out dumb. But those are honestly not people that we really want to work with this closely, anyways, because at this point, in the phase one point, these are people that I'm like trying to stay hooked up with and talk to every day. Like, how can I help you? Cheering them on, like, hey, I don't want you to think we just like took your $800 and we burned off. Yes, I know it sounds weird when I'm telling people, like, hey, honestly, you're just going to have to sit back and relax. Because
Mm-hmm.
at this point, that is what some of us are doing is just sitting back and waiting because it will take off. Absolutely. There's no way it won't work. Amazon has jacked up so much for themselves right now that Shoply's going to come in and be the only comparable thing to them. And I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but it's just like Uber and Lyft. It made everybody more competitive, but more
Mm-hmm.
reasonable also. So Shoply will eventually be Amazon's biggest competitor, and I think it will. I think that we'll live to see it,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be glad that we did.
Yeah, and funny point on Uber and Lyft, like Mark Cuban, he's not my favorite person in the world, but he turned down Uber
and said that that was his biggest regret.
Biggest regret. So
That needs to be like, if y'all are doing this CEO deal, I would, or the Shopley deal, like I would cut that small clip of Mark Cuban being like, yo,
Oh,
I
I
was
already
a
shared that
dumb
TikTok with y'all.
dick. I was
Yeah.
Yeah.
a dick for not doing Uber. And just in that small window, and like, he's one of the wealthiest people in America, and then y'all want to argue over some dumb shit.
That's
yes.
what I try to tell people too. And when people are asking Cherie about, like, is it an MLM? Just say yes.
Yeah, don't hide it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, but that's what I'm not going to do, because some of the people that I'm going to be talking to are my friends. Okay, so
yeah,
at the end of the
but
day, you got to be
okay,
honest. I mean, if it's a pig, it's a pig. It's not a damn horse.
it is
It
not
is
an
an
MLM.
MLM.
It is
But
not.
you,
It is not. It is not an MLM. It is a a technology platform. So it's not like Plexus or Thrive or Mary Kay, where you have to have all these products on hand and you have to throw parties. It is not an MLM. Now people are going to call it that. Yes,
right,
they do. So it's better just to rip the band-aid off and just say, yeah, it is. Like either take it or leave it. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
well,
Like there's
yeah,
no sense in arguing about it. If they don't want to be a part of it, then don't be a part of it. But that's
right,
not to say like, saying that Amazon's not an MLM or TikTok Shop is not an MLM. Like we're all doing the same shit. So
hmm
it's important that we understand that you can't get away from it. Unfortunately, no, and there's no sense in us trying to defend ourselves and explain to people what it's not because those
hmm
people are not people that you want in your immediate circle anyways, or at least me. I don't. I don't want to have to be with people that I have to defend myself with every day.
no, no, exactly. But yeah, there's other ways that you can articulate it. That's kind of what, this is good. Cheer me on. The pot, like I said, anytime that you're selling or trying to recruit or whatever, because that's what I do for a living with my people. The easy stuff is great, but you got to be prepared for when they come at you with the MLM. What are you going to say if you're sitting there going, duh? Know your material, and that's what this is, like a prep to go. Okay, what do you use? How do you get away with that without, yeah, it
That's why I
is,
said,
but
hey, I think this video is going to be good. And if we record it and we share it or however we do it, or if we want to do another one that's a little bit more mapped out, maybe, and then we touch base on it. But these are all valid, good questions. And these are questions that people are asking. They're
Mhm.
right,
asking Linda and Tony, they're asking me, they're asking Caleb. Like immediately it puts a bad taste in their mouth. But you're also going to meet other people who who are entrepreneurs that are just going to jump on shit like this, like
exactly.
Linda and Tony. It
hmm
doesn't scare them. They're just like, yeah, we understand the timing is important. Just like when you were talking about Mark Cuban not being a part of Uber. I mean, you can't just pretend like it's not what it is. Like you said, it's the elephant in the room. Just tell people that it is if that's what the problem is, and it doesn't matter. You don't really probably want to do business with them that way anyways. They're going to come back in a year and ask you like, what are you doing? What are you selling? Where are you
Right, right.
where are you getting this extra money? And I would honestly be a smartass and be like, oh, it's a dumbass MLM that you said I didn't need to do.
Mhm.
Well, the way I look at it in my mind, because I'm preparing for the negative. I got to prepare for the negative. Positive's cool. They come at me. One way that I think you can present this is, or that I am, is, hey, Amazon, didn't just come out there as a platform and everybody was like, oh, wow. It had to be sold or marketed in some
Yeah, they
form or
for
fashion.
5 years, right?
This is a
Okay.
marketing. We're getting it out ahead of time per people so that when the platform is out there, then you're going then you can take off with it. So really, this is a pre-marketing. This is the way that I would present this if I was to
This is the
present
way
it.
that you should
Yeah.
present this.
I
It's
mean, am I
no
wrong? Does that sound
different.
like a great way to do it? I mean,
That's a great way to do it. It is no different than you shopping on Etsy, TikTok
right,
Shop, Amazon, Groupon. It is no different. None.
right.
Zero. The
Yeah.
Yeah,
only difference is that it has real life humans that you know and talk to every day that are promoting this platform. So just pretend like Caleb and I own Shoply, and all we're asking you to do is just, hey, my friends have started a platform that's really similar to Amazon and TikTok Shop. I'd love to show it to you. It's not ready yet. They're going to launch it in April, but it's going to be a big deal.
that is the way to do it. See, this is what, you know, it, you know, I'm not trying to use my career, but I have to. I don't get sales or anything, but it is a sales platform, and you always have to think of what the negative is going to be when they hit you. So if you're
Yeah.
prepared to be able to soften it or present it in a different way, you're better off because you've got 2 times, maybe 1 time with them and then they're gone. You've lost them.
Yeah,
They're never
absolutely.
coming back. And
Okay,
so
so
this, but with us being able to share, like, hey, I presented it this way, man, it worked. They liked it. With experience and everybody coming in and saying, this is how I did it. This is how I did it and work. This is really good stuff to do. I
Yeah.
mean, that's my personal opinion, you guys. Listen, I don't use Facebook. I do use the internet, but the way I'm going to do it, because I believe in people doing it, is when I'm sitting and I'm talking to somebody face to face. Then
Mhm.
I present it. Then I talk it. I'm not going to use Facebook, you
but
know?
those are the most authentic ways that you can get something out. Okay. They say
Exactly.
one good haircut, you tell one person about, and one bad haircut, you tell the whole world about. So there
Exactly.
is no better way to tell something to someone than to their face.
I
Because they
agree.
see the excitement on your face, they understand, they trust you. Like I told you, you just signed up because you listened to me and you trusted me. So instead of trying to sell Shoply to people, just share with them the same experience that I shared with you. Hey, my friends have started this platform. They're freaking nuts. It's called Shoply. I went in at an investment level with them. I'm not recruiting, but I love these people and like this is their business and I hope that it makes it. And they're not really going to launch until April, but this is where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's a great way of doing it. I mean, you got to just think of the worst so that you're prepared for the worst. And yeah, this is
Sheree,
good.
I think that the face to face is going to be probably the most important because
Yeah, it is.
Victoria like first started talking about it and she went hard in the paint right off the
Mhm.
bat. She's like, this is going to be huge. I want you to be a part of it, yada, yada. And so I texted her and I was like, okay, what is this? And so she explained. And then it was probably three or 4 days. And then she had texted me consistently every day. And finally she's like, hey, I'm not going to text you again, but are you going to do this or not? And so I talked to Bradley, my husband, about it. And I said, listen, here's what it is. We started looking it up online. That's where we got into the Reddit, and everybody's like, it's a scheme, it's MLM, whatever.
Right.
And so I was like, we need to go have lunch with them or see if they'll have
Mhm.
lunch so that we can sit face to face and figure this out. So that's what we did. We loaded up next day.
Yeah.
Vic, she was like, let's have lunch. And we were there for like hours talking. And then by the end of it, I went home that night and signed up. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Well, then I signed up. Then I had to figure all this stuff out because, like, I'm not, I don't use the Facebook stuff. But at the end of the day, when you do all those little sales things and you've got that bigger wins to hire and they're doing the hoorah rah and how good we are, that's all well and good, but that's fluffy shit. And these are the kind of conversations that you have to have to
Mhm.
These
work
are
with
the
people.
conversations that
Yeah.
I intend to have regularly because I had this conversation with Rhonda and Tony that, like 12, 10 years ago. I don't even know how long ago it was. I signed up with the Visalis thing and like I was so on fire and I was telling everybody about it. And I
Uh-huh.
really was drinking the shakes and my grandma was drinking the shakes and we loved it. But the people that signed me up like kind of left me holding the bag and it hurt my feelings. And I was like, hey, I don't want to do this. Like I'm working my ass off. You're getting paid for it. And I
Yeah.
need a couple of questions answered and not like product information shoved down my throat, but like real life conversations. Like,
Right.
how are you responding to the negatives? Because you're going to get a lot of it. Tony, can you hear me? Okay, so I had somebody tell me no after they already said yes and were like gassed up to do this, specifically because Nick Sarnicola was involved. And they were like, hey, he has a bad rep. He's an
Yeah.
MLM. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Okay, so people are also coming. There are going to be negative people everywhere. And the best way that you can do it is just to shut it down. Like, hey, you know what? You're right. I don't know Nick. And if you don't like him, that's cool. I don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
no sense in trying to convince people to do business with you. I am trying to convince people to do business with me,
Right. Well,
not
there you go.
Shoply.
And that's the thing. When you're in marketing or whatever, it's like I tell my people, you also are selling yourself. So if
Mhm.
you've got a personality of a damn tabletop, that ain't going to work. Okay. You do need to be, start presentable, be nice to people, start conversations. Hey, how are your kids? Oh, your kids are 5. Oh, my kids are 33. Oh my God. And then you start going. But when you meet somebody and you ask them a question and they're rude as hell, I have a problem with that. So, at the end of the day, you have to sell this too. and I know how that goes. Yeah, it's not just the product; it's you're selling yourself. And if you can get out in front of them personally, you will be 10 times better to succeed. Sorry, but it is. It really is. So I know how to do this stuff. Sorry, guys, I'm
So
not using Facebook, but I bet you I do something. You
you
probably don't
don't,
think I will.
you definitely do not have to have any form of social media to do
No,
this.
not
This
doing
is
social
about
media.
sharing Shoply with people that you love. And I've given you several different ways over the last 30 minutes on how
Yep.
I would present this or how for you to present this. And that's not a one size fits all. I would try a couple of routes and see. I
Mm-hmm.
had some girls who I were like, they are going to say yes. Like I was positive. Caleb was positive. He had 3 friends. He was like, they're going to say yes. All of them said no. And I truly,
Really?
because of the way that Caleb and I presented it, like with Amber, I was like, are you going to do it or not? Don't be dumb. That's probably not the best way to go about this, but it's like I'm
No, no.
talking to my people that I know and care about. And I'm just like, hey, don't be dumb. Like,
But you
if I
also
told them to
know,
try and borrow $800, they would have said yes. But in order for them to be involved with something, they immediately said no. So over the last 14 days, I've really learned that me presenting this has gotten in the way of myself. I have lost some, business influencers and people that I really want to do business with. I've messed it up because of the way that I've presented it. And
Yeah,
I've
that's
taken
it.
my own advice that I've given y'all, like, hey, instead of trying to sell Shoply, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, support me in the business that I'm doing. Trust the system that it's going to work out. I don't care what products are on there right now. In time, it will come. Like Rome wasn't built overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Can't build Noah's Ark with a mallet,
Yeah.
like Caleb and I talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you just have to trust that timing is going to work itself out and educate yourself. Watch the videos, get on the Zooms. And I know it's kind of repetitive and it's stupid. And like, I don't love corporate Zooms. And I'm just going to say that even with
Me
Tony on,
too,
like,
me
I
either.
don't love corporate Zooms because I feel like it's like hype man stuff. Like, we love these products. Like, really,
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit.
yeah, nobody cares.
Mhm.
Nobody is on here because they truly love the products. People on Amazon storefront, that are selling plungers, it's not because they love the plunger. It's because they're getting paid for the link that they posted. At the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, this is about making money, creating a legacy, building teams, making lifelong friends. Like Tony and Rhonda just came down here from Nebraska. And I told Caleb, like, I don't really have any business in Nebraska, but I bet they would house us if we win.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think about not just the destination, but the journey along the way. The experience that you'll meet over, the next several years that this goes on and hopefully longer. But I truly believe that Shoply will work. And I think if the way you're presenting it is not working, just present it differently. Think about
Mm-hmm.
why you did it.
I think you have to tailor it per person too. So obviously
Yeah.
you're doing it with who you know, and then eventually you'll branch out, but you'll be able to read people a lot better. I'm in sales. I work for a custom home builder, and I have to tailor what I say, how I say it, and how I present the homes whenever I'm meeting people face to face, just based off of their body language, based off
Yep.
of how they're speaking to me and things like that. So, I think every time you speak to somebody, it may just be a little bit different because you're going to have to
Mm-hmm.
present it differently.
No, I agree. That's why I was saying about the personal getting out and actually personally doing. I think you're better off because the body language you get to see and you get to know them and their personality. I mean, it all goes hand in hand.
And
But
it's not
anyways,
as
this is
easy
awesome.
to blow you off. So if
You're
you're,
right.
it's easy if you're on the other end of a phone or on, a call or whatever messaging where they can feed you full of shit and say, okay, okay, yeah, I'll think about it. But if you're face to face and can actually read them, you can say, they're not going to do it. Or
Mm-hmm.
I might be able to sway them. Let me work on it. I'll call them back in a couple of days or meet up with them in a couple of days. So
Yeah, like the texting for me is like not good. I mean, when I'm going back and forth with people, I'm just kind of all over the place and I'm like, I don't really know. And they can't hear the excitement in my voice and they don't understand like what I'm committing to as their mentor and like what Tony and Rhonda have helped me do. And like, they don't understand the whole realm of things and they're not understanding it over a simple text message with a link. So for me, that's kind of a no-go. I'm like, hey, if you
Mm-hmm.
could phone with me for 5 or 10 minutes, that would be cool. But I'm not going to go back and forth with you over a text message.
No, I agree.
We have lost several deals because we were talking in circles, though.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Because yeah, like the first 5 days, I was just so excited. I mean, I was just like, wow, like we're going to get to be a part of something that's so much bigger than us, but also so premeditated. So you have to understand, like, this is a long game. When they showed on the Zoom the other day, the little chart, and we're at the very, 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 very start of it, you have to think about like when you're mowing lawns and you're 5 years old, you know, and you're picking up trash and you're doing things as a kid, and then as a teenager, you're walking dogs. I mean, like everything in life is so slow. And then you look back and you feel like it's gone so fast. Like Caleb was literally turning wrenches when he was 10. And then he, you know, bought his dad out and he had one store and now we have six. And, you know, it's just transpired over time. So I think in any business venture at all, whether they want to call it, you know, door-to-door sales, marketing, brick and mortar, you have to understand that there is a process in place and it all takes time and it all has shitty events that happen that are not foreseen. It all has hiccups. It all has kinks. Your computer dies. I mean, all the things go wrong that you have no control over. And people have to understand that when you're going into something, any kind of business adventure, like just know it takes time and you
Works
just have
hard.
to have some grace for it to work itself out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, any more questions? We have 3 minutes left on this Zoom that
I'm
Amber's
sorry I
recording.
occupied your time.
People.
No, I think it's good for us to like bounce ideas off of each other and to
I do
figure out
too.
what's gonna work. So
Can I help you guys? Because I jumped into this and I just feel like a lot of stuff coming up. Can I help you guys with something?
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm saying no, I'm good.
Okay.
You're good.
yeah,
Never
I mean, I
mind.
think this was more just like just to kind of talk a few things through. The main things that we talked about was how you're going to combat dealing with negative people who come in and just want to shit all over it. And
Yeah.
you know, that was I think the main point. And
Can I help you with the network marketing thing? Because I heard that a lot when I logged on. Can I help you with that?
MLM, it's all over the internet. That's what it says it is. So
I
how
guess
how do you say that it's not?
Well, I said it was not either, but either way, that's neither here nor there. We've already discussed we're going to address that situation because that is the first thing that people ask me.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense in trying to defend myself or Shopley and explain it. So,
Right.
Tony, I would like to hear what you like.
Can
to
I
say.
can I help you guys with that, please? Please let me help you.
We're
Okay.
waiting.
Okay. Well, okay. So first of all, from context, you guys, I've been in MLM for 38 years, going on my 39th year. I have seen every freaking thing you can possibly imagine. I've seen companies fold. I've seen why I love MLM, why I hate it, why it's a scam, why it's a pyramid, all of it. Okay. But here's what I can tell you. Okay. And Victoria, I've heard you say this. Every company, every organization is an MLM structure, period. So when somebody says, and the worst thing that happens, I've seen people do is they get into a debate and they start to defend, they start to say what it is. Here's all I say, and I'm going to teach you guys how to make this so easy for you if you allow yourself to do it. I always ask a question with a question. Is this MLM? Oh, what is MLM? Have them tell you what they think, what they were told, what they were sold, what MLM is. And whatever they say, if they say, oh man, I love it. Like I freaking love MLM. Oh, you're going to love this. Oh, I hate it. Oh, you're going to love this.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why, you guys. Okay, here's why. Because everything is MLM. Everything. Start at church, start at government, start at AT&T, start at Amazon. Everything's MLM. So you guys don't freak
I
out.
agree 1000%.
I'm just telling you, like, you guys don't freak out. Just, oh my gosh, what is MLM? Is this network marketing? What is network marketing? Is this a pyramid scheme? What's a pyramid scheme? Like, just ask the question with the question and listen to how stupid these people sound. Okay, so let me continue. Once they say what it is, oh, it's just, you're going to say, oh my God, you're going to love this. Only a quarter of what we do has an MLM structure. Okay, a customer's not MLM. An affiliate's not MLM. An influencer or influencer pro, now you have an opportunity to tap into a multi-level commission structure. So that is MLM. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Bringing on vendors is not MLM.
Right.
So if you get hung up with somebody that's MLM, you guys, hey, if they love it, great. If they don't love it, great. You don't have to lose your crap arguing with someone that has no idea what MLM is because they're in it and they don't even know how much they hate it or love it.
I
So
agree.
I'm here to help
Great.
you guys, and I want to help you through this because this is the easiest thing you'll ever share.